Today we're going to be talking about why I bought this crazy looking device, a neck harness for my own head and neck. We're going to talk about how I ended up being desperate enough to want to get something that looks so weird. I'm going to talk about my experiences with it over the last 2 months and whether or not you should buy one or what you can do instead of getting something that makes you look like you have very overprotective parents who are obsessed with the shape of your head. So if you've been thinking about getting a neck harness, or you know you have bad forward head posture or constant recurring neck pain, you're going to want to stay tuned to the end because I'm going to talk about all the details and show you how I actually use this thing to get rid of my own neck pain and keep my posture feeling reasonably good. I can say that, reasonably good. So if you're ready, let's get ready to think right, move right, and feel right. First, let's talk about why I was desperate enough to consider getting one of these things. Last year, I started noticing over the course of like 2 or 3 months that I was getting frequent bouts of neck pain. I would wake up from sleep and be like, oh my God, what is going on? I also noticed over the last 2 years that I was getting really drawn into the computer screen all the time, and I was having a harder and harder time maintaining proper posture while I was working at the screen. In my life, I have encountered and tried all kinds of mental tricks that I learned from hippy dippy movement people, like stay aware of the back of your head, or imagine a hook that's pulling the crown of your head towards the heavens. But when I'm in deep computer productivity mode, do you know what I'm not thinking about? The back of my head and the invisible hook that pulls me towards the heavens above. Anyway, I have long been a proponent of lightly loading the muscles of the back of your neck. I include exercises like that in my Hunchback Fix program, and I've mentioned training asymmetrical neck strength in a video that I posted on YouTube a couple years ago to fix one-sided neck pain. And doing these things has definitely been a benefit to me and to thousands of other people. But doing these things just didn't feel like enough training stimulus to keep my neck feeling strong and stable. I noticed that spending a while like this while surfing seemed to throw my neck out and make me feel funky. And I felt like sitting at the computer, I would feel a little off kilter because my head and neck are not always exactly straightforward. And after talking with another personal trainer who uses a neck harness himself to train his neck muscles and also his clients' neck muscles, I figured, you know what, I should just try this stupid looking thing. I thought, I want to look cooler, much cooler. So I bought a neck harness and hooked it up to the pulley system in my garage gym. And I've been going nuts. Well, not really. Around 4 days a week, I've been doing some reps and static holds to train my posterior neck. I don't train with intense resistance, and I don't even go close to exhaustion or failure. As I mentioned, over the last couple of years, I noticed it was getting really hard to hold my head and neck in the right position when I was staring at the computer screen. And that has improved considerably over the last 2 months. So let me show you how I've been using my neck harness. I'm about to show you something from my Hunchback Fix program. If you'd like to get a free workout from that program, plus more free workouts from my other programs that'll help you with your shoulders and your hips and your back, and you want some tips that'll help you get better sleep, then I encourage you to go to uprighthealth.com/BRB and start my free Body Rebuilding Basics program. It will help you improve your body, it'll help you improve your life, and it is all 100% free. So go to uprighthealth.com/BRB right now. Okay, well, if you're not going to do it now, write it down and do it after you finish watching this video. Okay, cut to my garage gym. So this is a neck harness, and yes, it does look like something you might buy at the adult store on the corner. This is something you put over your head. Oftentimes it has a chin strap and you can secure it like so, and it will have anchor points, little metal rings that you can attach to with a carabiner. This whole setup could cost you $20 if you get a cheap one. It could cost you around $100 or even several $100s if you get a really fancy one. This harness that I'm wearing costs about $100 with shipping, but you don't need to get one that expensive. You just need to make sure whatever you get has something it can attach to right at the front, or that it has symmetrical rings on the side so that you can attach symmetrically to your cable system. Or if you wanted to do this with bands, you could do that too. So in my garage gym, I have a pulley system set up with my squat rack. At your local gym, you definitely have some sort of cable machine that you can set up to do this. And all you need to do is clip on to the front of the harness. And that makes it super convenient. You don't have to hold anything. It's not going to slip and fall off the way a rubber band can slip down or slip over. And the weight that's on the pulley machine is clearly defined easy to add incremental load to, and it's predictable through the full range of motion. All of those things make it really advantageous. That's why I really like using the neck harness now. So now I can go through a full range of motion. I don't have to worry about the band flying off. And then I can go all the way to the other direction, really working the full range. I can go into a deep forward head position. I can even look down, and then I can pull myself all the way out of it, making sure I'm feeling the neck muscles work. In addition, I can explore by going to the sides and doing some of those rotations to figure out where I'm weak in terms of rotational strength. And while you can still do this with a big rubber band, I find doing it with a cable machine is a lot more convenient because it's a predictable amount of resistance the whole time through the whole range. With the band, if you're doing any sort of rotational motion, as you get to the end, you're getting more resistance. It gets harder as you pull the band longer. So using the cable means you know exactly how much resistance you're getting through the whole range of motion. So going here, working on extension, really pulling yourself out of forward head posture, doing sets of 10 to 20 repetitions. So make sure you start with a light weight. Same thing goes for rotations. If you want to work on rotational strength, which I do recommend, you want to start light and make sure you're never making yourself super sore, and just make sure you can feel yourself get to the whole range. With this harness, you'll notice I'm holding when I'm turning. That's because sometimes it can actually slip this way and rotate, and that doesn't really feel good. So I just have to hold on to the harness and turn and make sure that I'm getting the resistance to my rotation and not just getting a bunch of nylon burn on my forehead. Doing 2 or 3 sets of this 2 or 3 times a week is a great idea. And remember, it makes you look really, really cool. I personally resisted getting a neck harness for years because it seemed gimmicky and I just didn't want to spend the money, but now that I have one, I kind of wish I had done it sooner because it's really helped my neck get a lot stronger and feel more comfortable, and helped me big time in maintaining better posture when I'm using the computer. As you just saw, I use a pulley system to do my neck exercises, but it is not 100% required. I like a pulley system because it's an even, predictable level of resistance, and sometimes I want to do some exploration in different angles, and the last thing I want is a sudden change in the resistance that my neck isn't quite ready for, that then tweaks my neck. So having a nice, light, controlled resistance level while I'm exploring is super helpful and feels a lot safer. I also want to be clear that you don't have to go out and buy a fancy pants, super cool looking neck harness. You can use resistance bands in a towel or no towel at all, or you can just use a towel and some weight plates to mimic this. You could probably also take a rope and loop it through a weight and then put that rope around your head, maybe pad it with a towel. Whatever method you choose, you're trying to strengthen the posterior neck muscles, so you need a little bit of weight or a little bit of resistance coming from bands or cables to make sure those muscles wake up. And as they get stronger, they hold your head and neck in position a whole lot easier. And whether you use a harness or just bands or whatever, make sure that you start off with a low, light level of resistance, because the last thing you want to do is hurt your neck while you're trying to strengthen it. Remember that slow is safe and fast is foolish. Start with low resistance and gradually build up as you feel safe and comfortable and confident. When you first start, doing 2 days a week with 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 20 repetitions is probably a totally fine and safe place to start, but adjust based on what you notice with your body. If you feel like doing 1 set of 10 is crazy hard for you, then maybe that's fine. Maybe wait a couple days and then do 1 more set of 12 a couple days later. The last thing you want is to be so sore in your neck that you can't turn your head or drive your car or watch YouTube channels like Upright Health. And also make sure the resistance is light enough that you have full control and awareness of what muscles are working. You don't want to just be cranking like this. You want to be able to maintain a strong neck position as you're pulling your head and neck back, not just crunch your high cervical spine. Let me know how this ends up feeling for you and your posture and your neck pain, because it's helped me a lot. I no longer wake up with my neck feeling super tweaked, and I know how to balance out the asymmetry that I'm training when I'm doing board sports. I also encourage you to check out the Hunchback Fix program, which you can find at uprighthealth.com/DIY. And if you go there, you'll also find access to the Body Rebuilding Basics program, which you should totally get because it's totally free. I also encourage you to watch this video right here to help you with your hunchback posture, and this one if you get one-sided neck pain. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share this video, and as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't.